realize if we were on. Can they hear me?
Not yet. Maybe. Yeah, they can.
Silly.
This is Sizzle, powered by Fit to be Trained, coming to you from the Deep End Network Broadcast Studios here in the lovely Virginia Beach, Virginia, in the United States of America. Do you want to be part of the 30-day or 60-day transformation? Or be part of the Big Steve backyard workout routine?
Yes. Yes, you do. Oh my God.
Contact Karen, aka Sizzle, on any of her social media platforms at Fit to be Trained. Here's your host of Sizzle Lean, Karen Dougherty.
Oh, I like that. It's a rowdy crowd. Got ourselves a rowdy crowd today, and it's Friday. And it's always, this is going to be such a good podcast because it almost didn't happen. So it's going to be so good. We don't have a guest today. I'm sorry, world, but it's just me and Steve. But we are here and ready to roll. And remember, Steve asked me a question last week or the week before, the couple weeks before. We've had guests, and it took me 45 minutes to answer. Remember?
Yeah, that was the show.
It's not
one question in the show was good.
So it's not like we don't have anything.
Yeah, we could ask question number 2 today.
Question number 2. Sizzle. Okay, but this is what I did have in mind. I wanted to kind of do a little rehash of, we did have guests the last 3 weeks. It was so good, wasn't it? We had Josh last week. Josh is a CrossFit athletic trainer, and I keep saying CrossFit, but he is. It's Takeover Athletics.
A builder of gyms, a builder of muscle.
And you always learn
builder
stuff.
Of families.
Yes, you always learn things about our, people that we know already, and then we end up knowing more about them, which is fun. And then of course, retro fitness babes. That was a great session, and lots of interest in that podcast, of course. And we had Alexis with the GLP-1 drug. If you're interested in GLP-1s, which is going on, which is so popular right now in our culture, and with some good points and some bad opinions and all that, this podcast talks about her experience. So I would suggest listening to that if you're interested in it. There's so much overload in wellness right now, and that's kind of what I put together for today's podcast, is the overload and the cognitive load, and wellness overwhelm is literally what ChatGPT, my best friend, spit out at me, because I was like, let's talk about, what's trending in mindset fitness, not so much physical fitness. And chat will push out a couple subjects, and I picked this one, the wellness overwhelm, because I think overwhelm is a word that all of us tend to deal with, getting overwhelmed and then wanting to throw in the towel and give up. And if you're starting a fitness program, it's nice to kind of have something mapped out for yourself. And so that's why I thought, let me go over these points and see if this helps any of y'all. If you're already on a program, to keep going, persevere. And if you're thinking of starting a program, what is cognitive load? What is it? Cognitive, you think of brain and anything that does, thinking with the mind, obviously. The total amount of mental effort your brain is using at any given moment. So that's what cognitive load is. It spikes when you're juggling decisions, responsibilities, or too much information. So with all the stuff that's on our phones and all the scrolling, that can get you where you're getting too much information and it becomes overwhelmed. And I have found with myself, because I have days that I do admin, like say I'm having, Wednesday is a good example. I train all morning from 5 to 11. It's like basically nonstop. So I don't really have much cognitive going on except for physical body stuff. So which comes easy to me. So it's easy. And then, but it's hard work. So I have to make sure I eat, drink, and uh eat and drink. I can't sleep, but eat and drink. I've got to drink enough water and eat enough so I stay smart enough to be able to train. Then the afternoon is admin time. And often, and that's my schedule where I upload the podcast and do all the work for that. I really focus on uploading the podcast on Wednesday afternoons, and it gets to be overwhelming because I am on a computer. Usually the phone is back up, and even an iPad, like kind of juggling things around because I have to move things from different platforms. And so I'm in blue light and I'm in deep. So by 5 o'clock, like last Wednesday, I uploaded everything. I think I got it done by like 5:36, like you'd figure an afternoon at work. I was like, man, if I was drinking, I'd get drunk right now because I was so overwhelmed with all the blue light. So it spikes your cognitive load, spikes when you're juggling decisions, responsibilities, or too much information. It's why even simple choices, what workout should I do, can feel exhausting. So when you get that cognitive overload and wellness overwhelm, you know what it is. You feel it. I can actually, there's a difference of overwhelm and then the blue light overwhelm. I feel like that's way worse. Why wellness feels overwhelming right now. So wellness in particular, let me clarify what I mean. Wellness being your physical, your eating, supplements, sleep, everything. Wellness, even things that bring joy, so activities would be in your wellness world. So why does that feel overwhelming? Well, because there's too many choices nowadays almost. We've got apps, workouts, diets, supplements, trackers, programs. So it can get to be where a person will feel overwhelmed just by how many choices we have now. It's I don't even, it sounds funny, right? We're just a very spoiled culture.
Right, it overwhelms me.
I
Like literally, I mean, that was like part of the thing with Josh last week is like, look, I mean, there's so many different exercises you're trying to do in CrossFit, and you only have an hour to do it. But the math, it says that you're only gonna, for example, not everyone does like the ring muscle up. But how often do you work on the ring muscle ups? Once every 3 to 4 weeks.
Well, it's funny that you say that.
If you try to condense it all in, it is overwhelming.
You're right, though. You're right. But right now, it's so funny that you say that. They are going piece by piece on the muscle up right now, daily. They have a different, what do I want to say, lesson every day on. They're really picking the muscle up apart, how the reverse grip and all that, which I happen to love that grip. It's so comfortable. But you're right. Like we move through so many different exercises, but what I do like about CrossFit is I don't find it overwhelming because most of their workouts are short. Like we did back squat today, which is,
Well, that's a good example too. So like back squat, that's probably something if you're trying to get just stronger or stay consistent with your back squat, you probably need to be doing it at least once a week minimum. Mm-hmm. But the programming is such and that there's so much to do, like the overhead squat might take precedence 1 week over the back squat. Mm-hmm. And there you go. Next thing you know, you go 3 weeks and you haven't really back squatted. So when it gets time to get on there and try to stick with the same load that you're doing or go up, it's harder because you haven't been doing that load.
But I think that
that's why I think it's harder to set PRs and stuff like that.
I think that our programming, though, does, that is our job as coaches, to make sure that you're not just throwing something at somebody when they haven't been prepared for it. And I definitely think that takeover programs well so that you're not shocked with anything. But I know what you mean as far as volume or number of how many times do we do back squat in a month.
When's the last time you've done the power clean?
Honestly, was it Wednesday or Monday?
Okay, so that's not too long ago.
No, not at all. The programming is very consistent. You got to come. You got to see. Look at download Sugar Wad. Sugar Wad has
I got it.
Yeah. It's very consistent. Yeah, very, very, very.
Oh, I'm not picking on their programming. I'm just saying in general,
But yeah, and that, but I know you're not picking on their programming, and I know what you mean. In general, it can be overwhelming. I specialize in Pilates, so yes, I have to do the same thing. Like some clients I only see once a week. Most clients come twice a week, but I have ones that are once a week, so I have to make sure that I'm not throwing something at them that's going to actually hurt them because they're not ready for such a move. But that can be overwhelming in programming, and that's why you would hire a trainer. Like, nobody is expected to know that. We go to school for this stuff. We know what periodization is. We know what training, like how to get somebody ready. So that would be why, if you're feeling overwhelmed, hire a trainer. Okay, so here's the next thing. I don't even have to look at my sheet. I can't afford a trainer. That is a very big problem now in the United States. Everybody, I mean, the prices are going up on everything, and you really notice it in the grocery store again. So yeah, so you can't afford a trainer. Get into some sort of Facebook group, and there is a lot of trainers. Myself, granted, I don't give out free work, but I do give out work that's affordable. And I promise you, and I'm not the only one, you've just got to get with a trainer and start talking to somebody. If you're feeling overwhelmed, the best way is to call for help. But why wellness feels overwhelming right now, I'm stuttering now, is too many choices. Apps, workouts, diets, supplements. That's a really, oh my God, you can go down a rabbit hole with that one. My brother, God bless him, I love him so much. He loves to study supplements, which is helpful for me because he gives me, I tried this, I'm trying that, I'm doing the mushroom. Like, he did the mushroom coffee long before it was trending. Now it's trending. And so and he has ADD like I do. So he's like my guinea pig. He tells me, what works. Like lion's mane mushroom is really good for cognitive stuff. I know that because of I
got 4 bags.
Older brother. What do you have?
4 bags of mushroom coffee.
I want you to drink it.
I mean, I think I got enough for like 6 months or something like that.
Oh my God. Can you cancel the subscription, please? Or pause it. I know what it is. It's probably Rise, and I get Rise too, and you can pause it.
I don't have a subscription, but I had a bag, and then I just went ahead and because I saw a special and bought like 3 more.
Oh, okay.
But I think I accidentally bought 4 instead of 3.
Because I have a subscription and I pause it. That's a great company, by the way. RYZE. I like the coffee. I don't drink much of it that I need to be getting it every month. So you just pause it. And
what's the best time of the day to drink that? In the morning?
I would say afternoon for me. It does have a little bit of caffeine in it.
Does it send you to the bathroom?
No.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't. But you'd think it would, the caffeine, the coffee part of it, and then mushrooms. It could. I mean, it definitely has stuff in it that helps with digestion. So, and maybe in the very beginning when you start it, you might want to be close to home
because it'll clean. I mean, that's a cleanser,
but it's not like gonna make you have it could in the very beginning, I mean, but once you get your body gets used to it. I'm not gonna
be sitting there back squatting like, I need to run home.
Right. But as long as you just yeah, like when you first started. Decision fatigue. Every day feels like a series of micro decisions about health. And maybe that's definitely true for me because we do have more choices and stuff like that. I'd like to think not everybody is feeling that they have micro decisions all day about health. I mean, I do because it's my business and my career, but maybe people do think about it all day long too. Information overload. Definitely. Everyone online is an expert and advice contradicts itself. We know that. Like you'll read one article and then the next article will say one thing and so be careful with that. But this is explaining why things feel overwhelming. Perfection pressure. People think they need the perfect plan before starting. And we've talked about perfectionism in other podcasts. That will definitely hold you up into a procrastination, if you are waiting for the perfect plan. And life is busy. Our culture has gotten busier and busier and expecting more and more out of us that it really takes an effort to not let life in itself overwhelm us. And I'm working hard on that and enjoying it. I almost did the podcast on gratitude today because I just feel so happy that I got to my 60th year. Like, I just can't believe that I'm going to be 60 this year. And it's such a privilege. I know. I mean, I know I sound corny. I know you're probably sick of hearing it. But I also, I was talking about this earlier. I mean, I'm from a world where I had to get sober a couple of times in my life. And I went to funerals. I went to a lot of funerals because of addiction in itself. Others besides accidents, motorcycle accidents, car accidents, plane crashes. I've had a couple plane crashes, and not me personally, but I've lost 2 friends to plane crashes. And just
really different crashes too.
Yes. One here in both of them. Wait a minute. Both of them were here, Virginia Beach. Like, both of them were pilots themselves too.
Small planes.
Yeah. Yes. 2. One a female, one a male. One I was friends with their parents. That was a sad one. But the only thing you can say when stuff like that happens, they're doing what they love. But what I'm saying is, what a privilege. I rode motorcycle. I rode Harley for years. I mean, that is a killer in itself. So the fact that I made it to 60, I feel like is such a privilege. I'm so happy. I'm glad that I worked out and exercised and ate well my whole life, pretty much. I mean, really, I can't remember ever not doing it. So even when I was an addict and using drugs and alcohol, I was still eating healthy and exercising, if you can possibly imagine. But which I'm sure helped me be able to sit in this chair today. So I really do take it serious that I'm so lucky that I got here. Like I said, I almost did the podcast on gratitude, but the overwhelm, how I went down that rabbit hole is because we were talking about life load and how work and family and stress, stress is a killer, and our culture is just getting faster and faster. So the brain is already full before wellness even gets a chance to enter into it. So it takes effort to really try to make time for your wellness, but I really want people to just not let the world get in the way anymore. I want you to be able to have the gratitude I have at 60. What this looks like in real life. So cognitive load and wellness overwhelm. What does this look like in real life? You skip workouts, not because you're lazy, but because choosing which workout is the hard part. You all of a sudden you give up. Been there. I've been there before. Should I do Pilates today or I usually end up doing something, but yeah, I've done that where you just don't do anything. You start a habit, stop, restart, stop, not because you lack discipline, but because your brain is overloaded. Okay. Believe that could happen for sure. You feel guilty for not doing enough, even though you're doing a lot. I have that a lot. I definitely feel guilty for not doing enough, and not necessarily in fitness. I mean, in life. So I think people feel like they're not doing enough, so they can't carve out some time for themselves. They almost feel like a workout would be selfish, and that's not the case, but we know people get caught up in that sort of thing. You want to get healthier, but you feel paralyzed by options. I get that with attention deficit. You get so many options that it overwhelms. Like, I really need everything to be slow so I can focus on one thing at a time. That's me personally. So yeah, that can definitely paralyze us with all the options. So how someone can shift out of wellness overwhelm. So we figured out what it is, right? And what it shows up as and how it disguises itself. And so how do you get out of it? Reduce the number of decisions. Well, how do you do that? You pick one workout style for the week. If you have the luxury of having different kinds of workout styles, then that's a luxury. So be grateful for that, and then pick one and focus on it, and then change. That really sounds lovely. Like, I wish I could do yoga for 1 week, do Pilates for 1 week, do CrossFit for 1 week. I mean, that would be kind of cool, but I don't. I kind of go between Pilates and CrossFit. Those are my go-to. And I'm doing a lot of mobility, and I don't mean to plug myself, but I do 4 mobility classes a week, 2 on the mat, 2 in the chair, and I am reaping so many benefits of it. And I turn the camera on, and I have people join in with me, and it's only $19.99 a month. $19.99. It's affordable. So, and if you can't afford it, get with me. We'll talk. I can even give you a deal. I promise. I just want people moving. I really do. And I understand the financial problems. Trust me, I am a single mom, have been my whole life. Every time I get to where I can make the budget, the prices go up. So I'm kind of glad for that, because I can always keep that in mind when people are struggling with that. I understand it. I wish it wasn't like that, but I understand. Eat the same breakfast every day. There you go. Reduce the number of decisions. Breakfast is a good one, and it's an important one, and it's an easy one to get your protein in. If you like eggs, there it is. If you like oatmeal, there it is. Add protein powder in your oatmeal or your cream of wheat or your grits if you're in the South. That might sound funky. Some of you don't like to eat, so a smoothie. There is lots of ways to get breakfast food in. Pre-decide your training days. So let me repeat, we're reducing the number of decisions. So pre-decide your training days. Less choice equals more consistency. So next is create default settings. a default 20-minute workout, a default mobility flow, a default protein and veggie meal. Defaults remove the mental negotiation. So you remember, I do chat GPT. So sometimes I agree with stuff and sometimes I don't. But create default settings. And it's not that I don't agree with this, I just don't really understand it yet. Let me take a drink. A default 20-minute workout. So I guess what that means is that you have something that you like to do and you just do it, like air squats, wall push-ups, and leg lifts. Like that would be something, that standing leg lifts, like if you didn't even want to get down on the ground, like something default that you're like, all right, I could do that. Chair stands, 20 chair stands, just silly things. You got to start really small too. Default mobility flow. Oh, that's a little like, I could come up with a default mobility flow, but I don't think a regular person, I don't think an accountant could come up with a default mobility flow. I mean, that's kind of silly, but a default protein and veggie meal. So something that I think that's where breakfast comes in. Like a lot of times it'll be nighttime and I don't have to cook for whatever reason. And I often have breakfast for dinner, or like have that meal that you like that has,
I love breakfast for dinner.
right, or just something that you like that has protein, carbs, and fat in it. That, avocado is a great source of fat. So a burrito, I make, I take that burrito envelope you get, to make tacos with, with all the spices in it, and I put it in turkey meat, because ground turkey just isn't the best tasting by itself. But if you put all those taco seasonings in it, it really tastes good. And then I put some black beans, which is more protein, fat-free Greek yogurt, tastes like sour cream. I put a little bit of that in there. I put avocado. I personally put onion in, and then I roll it in a wrap, because there's your carb, and it is a great default healthy meal. It's overloading protein. I mean, it's got tons of protein in it, but that's what a default. But like you said, Steve, breakfast too, like eggs and cheese, and yeah, just find something that just removes all that mental negotiation of what should I do. And granted, you can't do it all the time, but you can if you want. You can do anything you want. We really can. Think about it. You can do anything you want. Use identity, not willpower. Okay, what does this mean? Instead of I need to be disciplined, shift to I'm someone who takes care of my body. Identity reduces the mental tug of war. Okay. Use identity, not willpower. So don't guilt yourself with, I need to be disciplined. Do it more of like a pat on the back. I'm somebody that takes care of myself. And that does bring pride. Like even me saying that, I think a lot of this stuff is a mental game, that you got to play with yourself. And I know that from like quitting alcohol and drugs. A lot of times it's a mental game. It's not just like, I'm disciplined, I'm going to do the right thing. And because if it were that easy, everybody would be doing, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. But if I say to myself, I'm someone that really, wants to take care of myself, it goes with it. Shrink the goal until it feels doable. This is a big one for me. Like, I definitely believe in micro goals, bringing it down to, especially with weight loss, you bring it down to, I have these 30-minute, we were just talking about it. I have these 30-minute mobility classes. There's 4 a week, 2 on the mat, 2 in the chair. So somebody starts with me, and I get to know them briefly through, they have to do a consultation paperwork. It's very lightweight, 3 pages, some signatures. I need to know what's going on with their body, any injuries. Again, lightweight stuff, because this is virtual. And a lot of people I ask to just start with the chair and decide, because sometimes even mat work can be a little harder than people even are realize, getting down on the mat, getting back up. So you want to start really, really slow. And I actually was talking to somebody the other day, and I was like, just start out with 15 minutes, because they're mobility classes. So you can start late, leave early, and they're all virtual. So, and they're on demand, so you can do them anytime. So this would mean for, say, my stuff, or you could go on YouTube and put up a workout. YouTube is your best friend. Then you can have any trainer you want. And granted, you can do 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Don't put so much parameters on yourself where it makes you feel like you want to rebel, just start small. Micro goals are the key. I did this mindset thing when I was going through a lot of stuff with my son, and I couldn't control. I was totally out of control. You can control yourself, but you can't control others or what's going on. And so I had to learn to not have a stroke, not being able to control, I had to learn. And so I did this Trident mindset. It's a program that you can get online on your phone. And there's even an app, and a Navy SEAL started it. It's really cool. And micro goals are the number one. You break everything down as small as you can. That old saying, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. And otherwise, you look at an elephant, somebody tells you have to eat that, you're going to get overwhelmed. But 1 bite at a time, all of a sudden, you've got food for years. But you won't be overwhelmed. You'll see the positive in it, right? You'll be like, not overwhelmed. So shrink the goal until it feels doable. If the brain resists, the task is too big, make it smaller until you feel a yes. And make sure you feel a yes, because if you don't, there's something negative in you that's making you have to be stronger than. That's when, people say you've got a demon or something. Yeah, if your mindset is so negative that it won't let you move, you fight that demon, whatever you want to call it. Get rid of it. Anything can be stopped. Limit your inputs. Unfollow 10 wellness accounts. Ooh. Can tell I don't read this until I get here. I'm like, damn. Excuse my mouth. Whoa. Unfollow 10 wellness accounts. But I get that. Because my whole feed is that. But I don't get overwhelmed by it. But if you're on here and you're not a fitness trainer and you're like, I'm going to learn about this, and you've got 20 of us on, we all have different opinions. We all have, because I always joke with my clients, they're paying for my opinion. It's just my opinion. You go to a doctor, you're paying for that doctor's opinion. That's why they say if you get diagnosed with something big, go get a second opinion. Same thing with training, coaching, any of us. One of us will resonate with you. And that's why I never feel, I like it when my clients, they go on vacation and I want them to feel that they can go to a local gym or to a Pilates studio and feel comfortable and understand the language and listen to other opinions. Don't be afraid. Don't get locked in. Listen. Although this, I'm kind of going opposite, unfollow 10 wellness accounts. I'm just going to move on because I'm talking out of two sides of my mouth on that one. But turn off your notifications. I do that often on my phone. Turn off notifications. That will stop the blue light overwhelm, I guess I call it. The blue light is when you're on, on your phone, on, like I said, Wednesday afternoons, I'm on all three, and I am so overwhelmed by 5 o'clock. And it's just the light. It takes me a while to get over that. Pick one coach, one program, one philosophy. Darn it, that just overrides what I just said. But I mean, that's true with somebody that, like, most of my clients are with me. And my job is to make it so they feel comfortable going out in the world and feeling independent. I do like that. Obviously, they're going to come back to me and regroup. But that's true. Pick one program, one philosophy. Your brain can't filter endless advice. I kind of obviously don't really agree with this because I think everybody has more than one coach in them. So I think what I'm going to say with this, do one at a time. Do one at a time. I'm in the fitness business. You can handle going and talking to another coach or going to another trainer and hearing different opinions. I think, but if you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to build muscle and you need to focus, pick one. I only had one bodybuilding coach. I only had one posing coach. Do you know what I mean? I didn't have a bunch. I just had one. And I won, WON, because I focused in with both those coaches. I know. Thank you. I did win that contest. Build a minimum viable wellness plan. I don't even know what that means. Viable. That's a pretty big word for Sizzle. Viable, I think, means doable. This is 3 to 4 things that keep you feeling good even in chaos. So build a minimum viable. Oh, okay. So check that. This is what it means. Viable is doable. Sleep, water, movement, protein. Everything else is optional. And that's how I feel about those virtual classes that I do. I feel like those are the minimum doable exercises. Like anything else is optional. I think if you do those 4 mobility classes a week, you will be fit. Maybe not fit. You will be moving, your joints will be moving, you might drop a few pounds. It depends what your definition of fit is, because fit has a certain amount of I feel like endurance and stuff with it. So these classes are going to give you movement, mobility. We try to move every single joint and stretch most muscle groups in each 30-minute session. So, and then I always say that anything else above that is a choice. Like, I choose to go do back squat at the gym because I like doing that. Is it a must for me to be moving in a healthy manner? I don't know. I don't know if it's a must. I probably move better than someone who doesn't do it. How about that? But I don't think that you have to do these hard workouts in order. Not that back squat is hard. Do you know what I'm getting at, Steve?
Yep.
Like, I think just to be moving, you need to rotate your ankles. So draw a circle with your big toe that moves your ankle around, go in both directions. That stuff's important for living
I've been doing
everyday
a lot of
life.
that. Up and down, back and forth.
Yes, that is extending and bending your knee. We do stuff like that, and I tighten up your quadricep. That kind of stuff, that means you can do it. Your grandpa can do it. Your grandson can do it. Everybody can do these moves because they're just rotating your wrist. Neck stuff. When we're on the mat, you're pulling your knee into your chest, drawing a circle with your big toe, like simple things that get actually pretty hard. Like I have this one guy that does it, and he always jokes. And he chooses to lift weights on outside of the mobility classes. I see pictures of him at the gym, but he's like, these things are actually can be hard. And I don't want to shy anybody away from them saying that they're hard, but you can make the simplest exercise become challenging by putting yourself in back in the original posture, pulling your belly button in, engaging your pelvic floor. Like everything with effort can be, you can even take a really light weight and move and tighten up all your muscles and make it, it makes me think of when bodybuilders are posing. They're not even holding weight, but they're making those muscles pop on their own. That is hard work. Celebrate the wins. So it says here, celebrate the wins you don't post. You know how we always post all our wins, and this is saying celebrate the wins you don't post. Obviously, a younger crowd because I don't post enough. I was supposed to post today and I didn't. Hopefully, I'll get to before the day is out. But I just want to teach, like, simple framework would be decide what you want to do, delete stuff that's just clouding your brain, clouding your mind, turning off notifications, do less. So maybe focus on a few chores of exercise. So that's probably the wrong word, but say you're going to go start with, I'm going to do 5 chair stands, 10 wall push-ups, and something else a day. And that'll just start going, oh, I do have, and do it consistently. And then you just keep going. So decide, choose one direction, delete, remove extra options, do less, shrink the plan, do consistently, build trust with yourself. Oh, I like that. Why do we do things consistently? So you can build trust with yourself. And I like that. I like that a lot because that's what we do to build trust with others, right? Is to show up, be consistent. Then, even this podcast, we do this pretty much weekly. Even sometimes life comes up and we're like, but we're building the consistency. We're here. And it usually is always turns out, like they say, sometimes the days that you go to the gym are the days that you have the best workout. But more importantly, what it does is build that trust with yourself. And I think that's probably the most important thing I've said in the last 45 minutes that we've been on, that you do things consistently so you can build trust with yourself and others. This is the antidote to cognitive load. So there it is. I like that. Decide, delete, do less, and do consistently. And I'll put this in when I do the description of the podcast. I'll put this in there, and so you can remember that, because that is kind of the groundwork of overcoming the cognitive and wellness overwhelm, because I was talking to a client before I came on here, and I said that I was like, I'm kind of at a shortage on subjects. I was thinking of doing it on this, and she was like, and she's 35, and she said, yes, oh yeah, there's so much. And now her feed is going to look a lot different than mine on Instagram or Facebook, because they target what they feed to us, obviously. So I'm a 60-year-old female, she's 35, hers is going to be different. She was telling me that her group is fed the 75, go the 75 hard, and that's where you go 75 days. And we were kind of laughing because I've heard of that. You have to read 10 pages a day. That's pretty good. I looked it up. You have to work out twice a day, 2 45-minute sessions. One of them has to be outside, and they have to be on a meal plan, and they have to take a picture of themselves every day for 75 days. It's called the 75 hard. And she said, that's what her feed is full of. And she was like, oh, it's just so overwhelming. And she just can't, sign up for that. It's too much. And a lot of people like, that's ridiculous. I would fall short of the 45 minutes twice a day. That's overwhelming in itself. And one of them has to be outside. And this particular client is from Minnesota. So even though we're chilly, we're actually chillier than Minnesota today here in Virginia. But that one indoors, one outdoors thing, that would be tough in the winter. But some people really thrive on those kind of high discipline, high workout directions, and they probably do great. Imagine doing 2 workouts a day for 75 days. Oh my gosh, you're gonna look like a contest goer at the end. I mean, it would be fantastic, but that's a lot to ask. So she really loved the subject of the overwhelm, and I will say this, she does the classes, she does the mobility classes, and she does a little bit of one-on-one virtual training with me here and there. Um, just because, to do catch ups, but most of the time she enjoys the 4 times a week. And I don't know if she does every class. I don't know. Sometimes they can come in live to the classes, or they can do on demand. So sometimes I see them come in and sometimes I don't, but I can see by my platform if people are coming in or not. But I like that I think probably what she does is do the one-on-ones with me when she feels like she's fallen down on the classes. So there's lots of choices nowadays, especially with our virtual realms. So try not to overwhelm and utilize your realms. And I think with that, I shall close for this week of the Sizzle Show, unless there's anything that you want to add in, Steve. He added in some claps.
No, happy spring, everybody.
Happy spring.
Enjoy the beautiful weather if you have it this weekend.
I know. We have them from all over. I love that. I love that. You're doing good though, Steve, eh?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
Good. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you have the best weekend ever, and I'll see you and hear you and all that good stuff next week.
All right, Sis, good job.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we got our song back. Wonder how long that one was.